Welcome, everybody. This is the Nosebleed section with the Jets corner over here. We got JD from the Nosebleed section. We got Jaquan from Three Count, Court Kings, and I myself is Paul from the Three Count and Starting 11. We here are Jets fans, and we've been emphatic Jets fans since we've been growing up. This is a review of the 2020 draft, including the signing of the undrafted free agents as well. So let's start off with the first pick, the number 11 pick we had, Mekhi Becton from Louisville. What do you guys think about him?
You go first, Jay.
Let's say, sir, you want me to? I really like the pick. I mean, again, I understand his limitations at this point. He's raw. His footwork, his handwork, and all that stuff isn't cleaned up for pass pro. But I mean, when you get somebody that big, I feel like you can throw him out there and he can learn on the job while also being coached because he is so large. It's like, how many people are actually going to get past this guy on 1-2 moves? Not many people. And the guys
he's gonna get blocks just off size, just standing there.
So it's like if you can get past them, then I tip my hat to you. You deserve to get that sack. Like real talk, you deserve to get that. But I also feel like with the way that he plays, you're gonna get pancaked one way or another. Like if you get past him, he's still gonna toss you before you can get to Darnold, in my opinion. So I mean, I love the pick all around. Plus, it finally gives somebody for Le'Veon a run behind because let's face it, last year's line was soft. They got.
Don't give him that much. Don't give him that much credit, Jay. Come on
now. I mean, Le'Veon.
They couldn't walk. They couldn't block a Pop Warner football team.
They really couldn't. Like, it's bad to say, but it's like they couldn't block for nobody, and it's like it says a lot that we only kept 3 guys from last year's line, and only one of them is slated to start. That's potentially 4 new starters, and that's if Alex Lewis keeps his job.
I wouldn't even consider. I think that whole line is up for grabs right now, honestly.
No, it is, and JD said it is. That whole line is up for grabs. So I mean, like anybody could take anybody's spot. I'm only saying that it's like you look at the projected starters with the way things are right now. Only one guy from last year is projected to even keep his starting spot, but it's not a guarantee. So I think that a guy like Becton, with his attitude, with his size, with his power, more or less, is a revelation for Le'Veon. And I think Le'Veon can kind of start to get back to the production that he had in Pittsburgh, which is exactly why he was signed for the money that he was signed for.
Yeah, well, last year we had to keep playing him more for pass protection than anything. So he really couldn't even use the full.
Terrible. We were basically playing with one tight end because the other tight end had the block. So like they basically tied Sam's hands behind their back last year. So I'm really glad that JD saw that and addressed it. And I get it. Some people are like, oh, these guys are good, not great. And it's like, well, you don't need amazing offensive linemen across the board to have a good offensive line.
At this point, we just need somebody to get the fuck in the way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly. Like, act like you can lift the fucking weight or something. Like,
if you can't block him, chip block him. Just get in the way.
Yeah,
Fall down.
Do something.
Just like put a body in front of a body.
Here's the thing. Exactly. I remember there was something I saw a while back. All the linemen that JD signed, they compared their foul calls last year to one of the linemen. They had 0, and this one dude had I think 15 for the year. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head right now. So
it probably was Brian Winters or
it was probably Ryan Cleo or Brian Winters.
Probably.
Right. So here's the thing. I think the line of last year is gone. JD's first job was to rebuild that line, and he's improving it as we go. Because I mean, you can't protect Sam. You can't open for Bell. We're not going to do anything. You can't keep the kid. You can't keep this kid straight up. What's the point? He's just going to end up being like David Carr, So
exactly.
I don't want that.
That's why, and I feel like Becton was a very good first step, and it solidified the most important position on the offensive line, which is Sam's blind side.
Yeah. What do you think, JD?
As you all know, it wasn't who I wanted at 11. You know what I'm saying? I actually thought he was the 4th best tackle in the draft. But seeing how we were going for left tackle, I see why we picked him over Tristan Wirfs. I'm actually not mad at the pick. I know prior to us recording, Jaquan was trying to call me out on saying that Becton was trash. I've never said Becton was trash. I said the kid is good. Kid's got a lot of potential. To me, he's just not worth picking at number 11. And and like you know what I'm saying, like it's a good pick. It filled the need. It wasn't my personal like who I would pick there, but I'm not mad at the pick at all. Like you know what I'm saying. Like he's just gonna get blocks just off standing there. He's gonna be like the guy from the longest yard, that just this big tall like guy just standing there just like this, just somebody just, just being there. But the fact
He's
that
just
he
in the
has that
way.
kind, yeah, but the fact that he has that kind of athleticism at that size, it's great. But it also makes me worry about them legs, man. He's like, you know what I'm
I
saying?
mean,
Guys that big, they're that physical, them that lower body starts to go real quick. So hopefully
I mean,
he don't skip no leg days. You know what I'm saying?
I
They'll
mean,
get him
I,
right.
I
They'll get
honestly
him
I
right.
feel like because he's a basketball player, I trust it a little bit more because again, it's the high impact, the jumping, the getting rebounds and all that. The fact that he grew up playing basketball, his body is built a little differently. Like he didn't grow up on the offensive line. You see what I'm saying? Like he grew up backing guys up and going up for dunks, so his knees are used to that kind of wear and tear. So I get the concerns, but I feel like his basketball background, the way
I mean, look,
his body's used to moving, gives him an advantage and kind of protects him in a way from all those injuries and that concern and that risk.
okay, I understand that, but also you got to remember that that wear and tear is already there from growing up playing basketball and playing physical.
Right,
Sports. So the wear and tear is already there, a lot more than other people. But
right.
honestly, I hope I hope he turns out to be like our next Big Shot Ferguson, just like Iron Man, just leg it out, just like beast mode. Like I said, like it don't matter where we go, even if it's a pick I don't like. I trust Joe Douglas. He's somebody that we've been trying to go after for years. This wasn't just like an overnight thing. We have been trying to get Joe Douglas like since before he went to the Eagles. Like, and we just couldn't get him. Now, like, and I told the Nosebleeds last year, as soon as McCagnon was fired, I think it's Joe Douglas or bust. Like, the only reason we fired Mac is because we know we could get Joe Douglas. So I do believe we have the right man for the job. So I trust any pick that he makes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not mad about the pick. I was worrying if we were to have a pick available for a lineman at number 11. I wasn't sure we were going to have one. And if we didn't, I would have taken a receiver. And if we did, I probably would have preferred CeeDee Lamb over Judy. And that's only because of the meniscus. That meniscus it's a concern of how they repaired it. Did they shave it down or did they sew it back? Do you know, JD?
It was a very minor one, and honestly, like I said, it's 2020, man. I'm not sweating no real injuries like that to receivers. Look at Cooper Cup, tore his ACL, came back the next season, fucking ran all his drills faster than when he did before. Like sports medicine and like just surgeries and like injuries all together have evolved so much. Like now that we're in 2020, like none of that stuff phases me too much on like receivers and stuff. It phases me more on like a lineman who carry around that 200, 300, or really 300 to 350 pounds of weight on top of their legs. So the receivers, I'm not really scared that much. Like, yeah, okay, well, I'll be pissed we missed time, but like as far as them coming back, like I don't even sweat that no more.
Mm-hmm.
I just wait for it.
We'll
I think the injury was kind of similar to what happened to Westbrook a couple of years back, where he missed like 3 or 4 weeks after they had to like repair his meniscus, and then he came back and he murdered everybody. So
Yeah,
I mean, I don't feel like it was that. I get where you're coming from though, because it's like you'd rather start ahead of the 8 ball than have to worry about
yeah,
starting behind it. So I get
yeah,
the preference, but I never saw it as an issue personally.
yeah.
Apparently, a lot of teams did because he dropped a lot
Yeah,
further than we thought he would.
Well,
the issue I was
nah, he was always falling out of the top 10, always,
No, it
because
wasn't.
there were so many
It
teams
had
that
nothing to do
needed
with top
linemen and
10.
D linemen,
right,
but
I
like
didn't
he,
think
he
he would
fell
get
three
past
spots.
14.
but he was supposed
I
to be
didn't
the
think he'd
first
get
he was
past
taken off.
14. That's what I'm saying. Like I didn't expect him to get past 14. The fact that he went 15, I was like, okay, all right,
Well,
cool.
I knew the Raiders, if they're gonna pick a receiver, it wasn't gonna be either. It wasn't gonna be him or Lamb. I mean, the Raiders always like their speedy receivers.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. Like that's why it wasn't really a surprise to me. And honestly, to me, Ruggs has like the biggest potential out of the top
Oh,
three.
for sure.
Like,
for sure. Ruggs
in my
definitely does
opinion.
have the biggest
The
upside.
other two are just ready now, and they still haven't hit their peak yet. But Ruggs has the potential to go even past them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was my concern is with the meniscus is you don't know how to repair it, and then the problem with that one is you can't. We have medicine now and it's far advanced, but the thing is you cannot repair cartilage. And that's the concern I see. And that's why I say, how was that meniscus repaired? Was it sewn back together, which is fine because then you don't shave down the meniscus, so you save that. Or was it shaven down? And that's where the problem comes in, because if you shave it down, then it's no longer there, so you're losing it. So it's like saying, instead of having issues with the knees in 10 years, you might have it in like 5 years or so, depending on how much they shave down. That's what the concern was. That's all I was asking if you guys know what they did. What was the minor part of it? Was it they sewed it back, or did they shave some off?
I don't know if those details came out. Honestly,
Yeah,
I didn't hear
Keep
any
going,
of that.
and I'll look it up and while we're doing the podcast and in between.
So let's go to the next pick. The next pick was second round. Who was that one? You guys remember?
Mr. Mims.
Mr. Mims. And we traded back 11 spots too.
Yeah, which gave me damn near a heart attack.
Oh yeah, I was pretty psyched for me.
I almost lost my mind.
I was pretty tight about that.
I almost flipped the table in my house. I was about to throw a fit.
See, here's the thing though. It's like in this draft, I was kind of iffy about it because of the fact that there's so much potential out there. And it being JD, Joe Douglas, I was okay with it to see where he was going with it. So picking up Denzel Mims at that spot was like a steal. Not the best steal that we had, because the best steal that we had is later on. But I like that. I like that pick of Denzel Mims. We get the height, we get some speed on there, physical. So I like.
He's got a big chip on his shoulder, and that I like.
Yeah. Please come for everybody.
What I like too is that he's a true X receiver, which is something that we haven't really had in a while. He's a real true X receiver that you could put across from Perryman, and now you have like a legitimate, 1-2-3, like a 1-2 slot setup.
Yeah, we got rid of Robbie Anderson. A lot of Jets fans were crying and moaning that we were letting it go. You can't teach speed. You can't teach that. Well, guess what? We got mad speed on the offense now.
Not even that. We got a guy who's faster,
and it's still cheaper,
bigger, and like maybe an inch shorter than him. But like,
again,
Perryman has like 30 pounds on him and has the same speed, if not faster.
And he tries. He gives effort.
Not just that, he can run more than one route.
Yeah,
that's true.
That's the big
I'm just saying, man. 4 years in the league, you couldn't develop at least one other route outside the go route. Like you can't even hit the slant. You can't even hit the slant.
I mean, if you're Randy Moss, okay, I get you. You get away with it. But you ain't Randy Moss,
again.
Yeah, but Randy Moss created separation.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah,
Robbie barely created separation. Like it was rare when he actually. Sam had a clean, like, let me throw it to this spot. Robbie's going to get there, and then Robbie's open. Like, Robbie was always fighting for...
He was always open enough to get the ball to him, unless it was blown coverage. That's where you see, he got this separation. He's wide open. Yeah. The defense blew the coverage. That's why, because he doesn't get open like that fast.
Yeah. But specifically looking at Mims, and from, like, looking deeper into the pick and listening to a lot of, like, podcast stuff that JD's been on, what I like about it is that he took the risk because they wanted Mims with our first pick, and he traded back to get extra picks, not knowing if Mims was going to be there. So I mean, like they took a risk, and the fact that Mims still dropped that far and we still got him at that pick, and then it created even more of a chip for Mims because again, Mims was the 13th receiver taken, and for a lot of people, from what I've seen, a lot of people he was 4th, 5th, 6th. Receiver ranked.
I can't believe Ayuk went in the first round. Ayuk went in the first round.
I thought he was going late first. Like I was fully convinced that he was going to Green Bay. I was thoroughly convinced he was going to Green Bay.
No, Green Bay would never do that. Why would they ever get Rodgers' weapons?
I mean, me thinking as a logical person, I'm thinking that okay, you're going to go with a guy like Denzel Mims for Aaron Rodgers because again, you guys were right there, and a guy like Denzel Mims would be a difference maker. Just looking at what a guy like DK Metcalf did for Seattle.
Like I said,
logic would dictate that you would go after a similar guy that has a similar skill set, but a higher upside. Logic would dictate that. So for him to fall where he did, to where he almost fell to the third round to us, not to mention it gave him the biggest chip, and he has so much room to grow. Like it feels like even though if you watch his freshman film to his senior film, he's grown a lot, but he still has so much room to grow because again, he didn't run that many routes. He basically only ran a go route and a couple of slants maybe.
No, he didn't know. He knew how to do screens, but like screens, you just turn around. It's not really a route.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like now you get him in the hands of like NFL level wide receiver coaches, and you get a guy like like the receiver coaches that we have now, bro. Like he could be a monster in 2 years.
Oh, man, yeah.
That's what I love about it. And then again, 6'2", 207, guys used to playing against press coverage. Like he's used to playing against guys that are going to get up in his face, guys that are going to get handsy, guys that are strong. And like he's used to contested 50-50 balls. Like that's the stuff that he grew
in. And where it is, he knows how to run the full route tree. He just didn't have to at Baylor because that's not what they asked him to do.
And that's the thing. Then it's like, okay, now you can open up the playbook a little bit because now you have not only do you have Perriman taking the top off, because now it's like now you really got to worry about Perriman now because now he's just gonna go, and then you got Jameson Crowder that you have to worry about because of the numbers that he put up last year. So you can't really double any of these guys. And then, guys are going to test Mims, obviously, but a lot of receivers, the issue is that they're not used to playing against press coverage. This guy already knows what he's doing. And if he knows the route tree like you already says he does, Sam's going to go. He's going to look like he did preseason last year when he was just eating defenses alive.
Yep. I'm going to bring up another point when we get later into the picks about what I want the Jets to do because it involves one of the picks. But I actually really loved the Mims pick. And then even after that, I think I was on Zoom with or maybe even Skype with like Joe and Jaquan just watching it. And just like, all right, cool. Let's double down on receivers, get Peoples Jones. Like let's go. Let's beef it up. Beef it up.
I'm still sad. He went in the 6th round, 7th round.
Yeah,
so that just makes me
Browns. To the Browns. Like the Browns need any more fucking receivers. They already have too many receivers.
To me, he's just gonna end up like Perriman. Like to me, he's gonna be a bust at the Browns because they don't know how to maximize the receiver talent that they have. They just don't know how to use them.
No. I mean, look at it. They had
cool. I'm gonna wait for them to cut him, and I'm grabbing him. I'm waiting for them to cut him. Like, yo, son, keep JD's number in your phone so that when you get cut, just understand we're gonna be the first call that you're gonna get. And then once we have Peoples Jones and Mims in like 3 years, we good. We ain't got to draft no more receivers. We all right.
All right. Going to the next pick, our third rounder, Jabari Zuniga, the edge, Florida.
Nope. Before that is actually, so before this podcast, I wasn't.
Oh wait, I got ahead of myself. Yeah. My bad.
So I'll announce it because I'm gonna go first. So I actually this turns out to be my favorite pick. So just like days leading up to this podcast, like I was wondering if you guys were gonna ask me what my favorite pick was, and I was like, I don't really have a favorite pick because I didn't get nobody that I wanted, but like overall, like I thought we had a great draft. So with our first pick in the third round, we got a guy, Ashton Davis, I think out of Cal.
Yeah.
Right? Out of Cal. So I've watched a lot of tape on him, and like just knowing that Greg Williams plays a lot of three safeties in his schemes, and like basically this guy can line up in the slot. He could play the free safety. He could play a strong safety. Do the ball hawk. He's fast, sideline to sideline speed. Like I think you'll see a lot of May, Jamal, and Ashton Davis out there. Ashton Davis can drop back to strong safety when Jamal is in the box. Like it's just another chess piece for Greg Williams and his defense, and I think it was an excellent pick in my opinion. I was a little questioned. I questioned it at first, but I had to think to myself like, what does Greg Williams like to do on defense? And he likes that those three safeties, and our three safeties can literally do a little bit of everything. So I think it's just another chess piece in Greg Williams' defense.
I mean, personally, I love his attitude. That was the biggest thing for me is that all the guys that we got, like you heard a lot of like, okay, all these teams passed on me. Like they all have that Jamal Adams type of mentality where it's like,
Yep.
I should have been the first pick. Even if they weren't even projected to be the first pick, they all think like I should have been the first pick. So we're gonna make everybody pay. So and I love that Ashton is not he's never like he's not a rah-rah kind of dude. Like even if you look at him on film, he could lay a dude out and is the calmest dude.
His playing style and his game tape say he's a rah dude, but he's not. He's an action, not no words. He's an action, no words.
I feel like him. I feel like he reminds me a lot of Marcus May in that sense. Like he has Jamal Adams kind of game, but he has a Marcus May kind of demeanor. And I feel like picking him was twofold. In case we can't pay May, because he just plays out of our price range and we have to let him go, we already have a free safety.
Yeah.
Because it's like we're gonna have to pay Jamal significantly, so we can't necessarily invest as much as we want to in keeping May. So like there has to be like a hard limit.
May's gotta be careful. He can't ask for too much because he's got some injury. You know what I'm saying? So he has to be careful.
I don't think he will, but
I can't say he's injury prone because he really got injured that first year and then tried to come back and it screwed him for the second year.
Yeah.
But since then he's been fine. He's been healthy. He's been playing every game. He got his surgery. Like he's been Marcus May.
In terms of him asking for a certain amount of money, I feel like we've covered ourselves to a point where like he can go back and he can play free safety because he's a ball hawk and he has that speed and has that skill. But then because there are three safeties now, it's like it opens up the entire defense in a sense because now you don't have to worry about it's another way to protect the corners in case the corners don't pan out.
Well, I think Davis played quarterback at 12 too.
Right. So, like, if you need him to go out there and guard the number one guy or guard the number two guy while we have another, because, we don't know because, again, Ashton had abdominal surgery, so you don't know when he's going to be ready. Bryce Hall had the ankle surgery, so you don't know when he's going to be ready. So maybe Ashton comes back before Bryce, and if Ashton's at 100%, he can be that corner one or corner two that you need to guard a guy on the outside. Because I feel like he's a great chess piece to just, be everywhere. But then there are situations where we may play against two tight end sets. And instead of putting a linebacker out there, now we got Ashton and Jamal on both those tight ends to shut them down. Because then now you got Owasser and now you got CJ back where it's like, oh, no, they can just go after the quarterback now. And then you got the guys on the front line that are really going to be able to now just tee off on the quarterback. They don't have to worry about dropping back. They don't have to worry about playing weird positions and playing out of position and guys going across the middle or some shit like that. Like, I feel like Ashton kind of, he protects on multiple folds, which is why I really like the pick now that I've had a chance to like really look at him.
Yeah, it's a good pick. I mean, people were questioning it, but I mean, it's one of those where you have to think about it. Does he fit in our system? And he does. Greg must love him. Sometimes you have this with a lot of teams. Did you really need that pick? Did you really need to go there? Some teams, they need that player now. So I like that pick. I like that one. It was like you guys said. It's like, who, what? You look, then you start doing the research, look it up, and like, golly, this guy's got range. He's fast. It's like, you can't sleep on him, but then he dropped. Why did people not look at him?
Because he had the abdominal.
Yeah, it's a core muscle injury. It's a core muscle injury, which probably means it was a sports hernia. It's really not a huge deal, especially if he's already had the surgery and it's already been months. Like a sports hernia surgery is like a 3 to 6 month. I think it's like a 3 month recovery. Honestly.
That's not a big deal, bro.
I'm not worried about a sports.
No, I'm not. I think it's a matter of the fact that he couldn't work out a combine. So for some teams, that's like, oh, well, this guy's not in my head because I didn't meet with him at the combine kind of situation. And then again, like, I feel like him being labeled a safety is kind of a misnomer because, again, he reminds me of he's in that mold of like the Isaiah Simmons where they're just football players.
Oh, yeah, just not on the same magnitude.
No,
sure.
I'm not saying
for
he's
sure,
yeah. Level at all.
But that same mode where it's a Swiss Army
knife, that weird hybrid of like you don't really know what the hell he is, so let me just put a label on him.
He's athlete.
Yeah. And it's like
he just
there was a
plays
couple
ball.
of guys in this draft. Yeah, there's a
He just
couple of
plays
guys in
ball.
this draft like that where you're like, okay, I guess we can list them as a safety. Okay, this person's kind of a corner, so we're gonna list them as a corner, but they're not. And in the new like real hybrid defenses, you need those guys.
Yeah.
No, so nice draft for the New York Jets as well. As long as we're talking AFC East, we just our grades for the Bills. Job well done. As far as the
I didn't.
I'm gonna say, okay.
I didn't know if you had something planned. I was like, okay, he's gonna hit us or something.
Sorry, it was a website. I was picking up. I was like, keeps freezing on me, and decided to play the damn video. But yeah, I think we all agree that the Ashton Davis was a surprise pick, but it's a good surprise though.
Yeah, like it's like you get socks for Christmas, but you didn't realize the next day it was gonna snow really bad. And you're like, oh shit, I really needed these socks.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it kind of felt like.
Yeah. So all right. So going to the second third round pick, which now is the Jabari Zuniga, the edge from Florida. I remember a lot of people were like, "What? Why?" This kid has some injury issues in college, but I mean, doesn't hurt to take an edge. The question is, do we need to take this guy now?
I think a lot of it, for me anyway, it was more. I was under the assumption that our pass rush would be coming from outside linebackers. So I was looking at a guy like Terrell Lewis as an outside linebacker who's an edge rusher. So for us to draft a DN, it's like, why the hell are we drafting DNs again? But again, it was another one of those situations where I watched the film, I get it, but like you said, I don't think we needed to take him this early. Like this wasn't a pick that needed to be made in the third round. Like we would have gotten him one of our fourth round picks. I feel like the value would have been a little bit better. And I feel like we could have definitely gone receiver or one of the higher rated corners with this pick. But, and again, because of the relation to the Florida edge rusher with the PTSD from Ja'Kai Polite, I feel like there's a lot of that, like an edge rusher from Florida that has motor issues in the third round. Like, you know, it kind of created a narrative where I'm like, did we need to do this right now? Like, this wasn't like, that's why I was kind of shooting for Terrell Lewis, because I feel like Terrell Lewis is greatly underappreciated, especially in that Alabama defense. It was just that he's hurt. If you're going to go with a guy with injury history and concerns, I'd go with a guy like that. But my only assumption is Greg Williams is building for the 4-3, not the 3-4.
Mm-hmm.
Because, you know, he wants that quick edge rusher that can put his hand in the dirt, that can switch on the inside, that can give you pass rush from the inside and the outside, along with, you know, Quentin Williams and Fatukasi and Foley and those boys. He wanted somebody who's a little lighter, a little quicker, that can get off the edge a lot faster. So I get it. But it was one of those where, like, we could have waited to the fourth round and not taken a quarterback in the fourth and just kind of replaced the pick and took a receiver now. And that'd have been good. Like, it just would have made more sense to me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, the more I look at his tape, the more I'm like, okay, I get it, but he's still kind of a project, too. Mm. He's a little bit of a project. So it's one of those situations where it's like, I just don't want this guy to end up on a practice squad year one. Like, I'm not saying he needs to start. I'm not even saying he needs to play heavy minutes. But at least if he's in some sub packages where we can get a really good look at him and see some tangible something, that'd be a vast improvement.
So, I mean, like Jaquan said, I kind of had PTSD from the Ja'Kai Polite pick as well. But this guy's like night and day better than Ja'Kai Polite. Ja'Kai Polite was a little bit more raw. This guy, I know you guys said he had injuries, but he had 1 year of injuries. You know, there was like, and he could have came out last year, but he went back to Florida and dealt with injuries. But it's not like his whole college career was injury plagued. And I disagree with Jaquan on the fact that you think he's a project player, a developmental player. I think he has a chance to make like a really big impact for us on our defensive line. And also, he can also play like he also has the potential to play outside linebacker, which Greg Williams likes because he likes to run multiple schemes. He likes to run the 3-4. He likes to run the 4-3. He likes to run the nickel, the dot. You know what I'm saying? He likes to run all that. So like that's why a lot of our defensive linemen they can play up and down the line. Our ends can probably most likely play outside linebacker in a rushing situation. Um, I think it's a good pick. It was kind of a shocking pick, but I'm not mad at it. I actually like the pick. The kid's got a very, very big chip on his shoulder. And that's I've noticed that was our theme of the draft is a blue chip players, people that are just going to carry that chip the whole career and just like really the hunger to play and want to get better. So that kind of went with the theme of the draft, and I think overall it was a solid pick.
I think too, what got to me was that I didn't know he was a fifth-year senior. So I mean, like, again, there's a maturity factor of it, which I'm not saying he's Ja'Kai Polite. I'm saying that the narrative around Ja'Kai Polite, it's almost like having a rewind of what happened. But it's before, again, a lot of people like myself had to go back and watch the tape. That's for me. I had to go back and watch him, and I'm like, oh, okay, he's not like Ja'Kai Polite. But it's just when you see, because again, everyone was so hyped about like, okay, his film was really good. He's got all this ability, but it never turned into anything. But with this guy, like you can see the ability, you can see the maturity, you can see the process of like he loves to work. He likes he loves the process. So it's not so much that, it's just more of like, okay, is he gonna be a guy that like, is he going to be a 4-3 DN? Is he going to be this? Is he going to? So it's more that uncertainty that kind of doubles off his flexibility.
Yeah. It's a. Would you guys consider this a pick a reach or?
I don't consider it a reach just because like I know Jaquan says he would have been there in the fourth, but I don't think he's there in the fourth because there's a big run being made on defensive players taken. I think Neville Gallimore went right after him, who's I think this is like the second or third best defensive tackle in the draft. I'm surprised he fell that far. But so we picked Zuniga, and then the Gallimore went, Terrell Lewis went, Fernie Jennings went. So there was a big run to start going on D linemen and edge rushers. So I don't think that he would have lasted to the fourth round, like Jaquan said. Even though it probably would have been a better value, I don't think you can wait to make that pick.
And here's the thing, going into that was a 79th pick overall. Our next pick was round 4, number 120 overall, which we on his teammate. I can't even pronounce the first name.
Lamichael
P. Ryan.
So here's the question: Would Jabari been available at 120?
And I don't think so.
It's a great question.
I don't think he would have been available for us at the 120.
I don't think so, because like I said,
I think it was more because I was sold on Terrell Lewis. Like I was so like gun ho, like I want Terrell Lewis.
Oh yeah, I would have much rather like Terrell Lewis, but like I don't think Zuniga's a bad player, and I think he has the potential to be very good in this league.
And so here's the thing:
like I say, all pro, but I think he'll make a Pro Bowl or two in his career.
Here's the thing: we think about been gone in the early rounds of like in round somewhere between 90 and 110, if anything.
I think he would have been
available for us on the fourth at 120.
Right.
Now talking about the 120 pick, Michael Perrion, running back, they're saying he's got more power than speed, and they're saying he never topped 1,000 yards for scrimmage in college. But you know what? I'm okay with that.
You don't need him to do that. Like I just see him as a younger Bilal Powell.
The way I look at it,
no, don't try him like that.
I look at it.
Bilal Powell is a career backup. I think LaMichael P. Ryan has the potential to be a starter.
I disagree. I think that
I have more. He doesn't have wear and tear on him. That's the way I look at it, and that's what I prefer. Because that was the concern with Ray Rice when he came out years ago. Was when Rutgers, the wear and tear. Did he have anything left in him? And that's the concern when it comes to a running back when he gets drafted. How much does he have left? And you go from there. So I mean, I'm okay with this pick. I mean, we needed a running back. We needed a running back.
And again, I feel like with the fourth round specifically, it's the round that got a lot of criticism because we drafted basically backups. but I feel like the depth was needed, and it was at very key positions.
I don't
So like,
necessarily think that we drafted backups at all. I mean, except for like the quarterback one, but I like and there you draft somebody for who has the potential to be a starter, but like especially with this Lamichael Piron, he's gonna be running back too off rip. So that's basically a starter. This is what I wanted to get into earlier. So what I want to see the Jets use more of is two back sets because you can line Le'Veon up in the slot. You can play the slot. That's why we paid money. That's why we paid the money we paid Le'Veon because when you pay in Le'Veon, when you get a Le'Veon Bell, you get a top running back, you get probably a wide receiver too, and he's phenomenal in pass blocking, which is where we had to stick him most of last year because our O line was that trash. So what I want to see is what I wanted to see us do last year with Montgomery, is that but with Montgomery it would have been a little bit better because he could also line up in the slot. You could line up an empty backfield and have both running backs running routes. You know what I mean? Like our offense could be very potent if it's done the right way.
Yeah.
right.
I just think it was a solid pick, and I've been telling you guys in our own chat that like no matter what, no matter we keep Le'Veon or whatever, Le'Veon leaves, like I think we need to draft a running back anyways because it's good. It's good to have another running back. I change a pace back who can take over when Le'Veon leaves. So
and
the
that's why I
fact,
like them.
yeah, and the fact that Lamichael Piron is coming in here and he gets to play with Le'Veon, like Le'Veon's not an asshole teammate. Le'Veon's gonna teach him. Le'Veon can teach him pass protection. Le'Veon can see, you know what I'm saying? Like they're gonna ask questions. Le'Veon's gonna answer him. People make Le'Veon out to be a fucking asshole, and he's not.
No,
he's not at all.
Like Pittsburgh Steelers did him so dirty. Like I was all for him sitting out. Like how you gonna run the ball 400 times to a guy who's on a franchise tag you're not gonna give the money to? Like nah.
1,000% true.
Yeah.
And then you also look at the depth we have. We also had Josh. I think it was Josh Andrews or whatever from
Josh Adams. Josh Adams.
Josh Adams. There we go.
We still have him on the practice squad. He's still
on the practice squad. You still got Trenton Candace. So it's like Piron kind of rounds out that stable. Like now you have 4 different styles there that you can use and mix and match in any way you need to whenever the opportunity presents itself. So I feel like Piron, and like you said, I'm not saying Piron can't be a starter. I'm not saying that. I'm saying getting him and the what. Fine, fair enough. I feel like he's so much of a change of pace. I think you think I'm assuming that because of I compared him to Bilal Powell, but I only said that in terms of production. I'm saying that in terms of the way he runs.
No, because when I said I think he has the potential to be a starter, you were like, nah, I don't think so.
I mean, I feel like as long as Le'Veon's here,
send it back to Sikorsky. Run the tape back.
Oh my god! But in terms of when Le'Veon leaves, do I think he has a shot? Sure. Do I think he's gonna be one of those with you're gonna know his name? Absolutely not. He's gonna be a solid running back. I don't think he's going to be.
I think it was a great
pro or Pro Bowl.
And I think he's a lot faster than people think. He's very quick. And he's got a very low center of gravity. Right. I think it was a solid pick. I like the pick. Like I said, before we get through the rest of the draft, this is probably the first draft in a very long time. I'm really not disappointed. I'm actually very happy about the way that we drafted. I'm very happy with all the picks that we made. And I think that every pick that we made is going to contribute something their first year, whether it be on special teams or a role player or like a situational pass rusher for Zuniga, unless he just takes over and he's just that much of a beast in training camp. Like I think our picks were like I think Joe Douglas killed his first draft.
Let's go to the next one. The QB from FIU, James Morgan. He overlooked Jake Fromm from Georgia and picked the FIU guy. Probably because he had a better arm than Fromm does.
Yeah.
I don't even think that's true at all. I just think Fromm can't put it all together. He's your typical jock. Like he plays quarterback. He gets women and he just gets drunk. He has all the tools. He has all the physical tools. He just can't put it all together.
I think watching him, I think it's just he lets the pressure and the stress of like the big ones get to him.
He's like Alex Moran. He's like I have the talent. I have the talent to be a starter, but you know what, low key, I kind of want to be a backup, so I don't gotta do shit, and I can still get women and get drunk on the weekends. Like, you know what I mean? Like, show up to practice drunk. I don't gotta do shit. Like,
yeah. He's got the tool. I don't know why he couldn't put it together in Georgia and figure it out.
I feel
I'm just
like
surprised they stayed with him and they didn't.
It's 100%. I feel like too, James Morgan just kind of vibed with JD a lot more. And if you look at the quarterback room right now, like I feel like Jake Fromm, again, because he's coming from a bigger program, because he's been the guy for 3 years, and like you said, because he's so much of an Alex Moran type, he's not gonna fit in that quarterback room. He's just not. And I feel like James Morgan is such a passionate guy, and he's such a guy, like he's a guy that just loves football.
Yeah,
and him and Sam are really gonna just. And I feel like even in a way, he's gonna push Sam, even though he's not competing for his job.
Let's be real. The Jets were never gonna get another quarterback who could take Sam's job, or who could push him for it, or who can learn from him. Because as we all know as Jets fans, we saw last year how important it is to have a backup quarterback, and even a second backup quarterback. Because like honestly, backup quarterback might be the second most important job in the NFL. In my opinion, you know what I mean? Like, you need it. 100%. So, and this guy's got arm talent. He's got football smarts, and he's a competitor. And honestly, you get that in a room with Sam, who's got everything. He's got all the tools. He's got the smarts, and he's a competitor. I think him and Sam are gonna grow a very close relationship, and they're gonna be very competitive together. Yeah, they might even be fucking like making challenges for each other in training camp. You know what I mean?
I want to see it in the preseason.
And a competitive camp is a great camp, in my opinion. Right. I don't care if you've been the starter for 2 years, 1 year, 10 years. Like, you need to be pushed for your job in order to stay at tip-top shape and tip-top talent.
And I think also Jake Fromm is a beanpole. Like, Jake Fromm, he's a statue. And I think that's a part of the problem, is that we had 2 statues last year and we saw what happened. James Morgan got some wheels on him, low key. Like, you watch some of his FIU stuff, that boy can move. Like, that boy knows how to get the fuck out of there and keep it pushing. Like, that's what you need. You need a guy that's gonna, like, he gonna see the shit and he gonna go. How many times did we yell at Trevor Siemian when we saw the injury coming? You watching him, you saw when it was gonna happen. Yep. And I'm like, bro, would you move? Can you move? Can you? Nope. Okay, his ankle's gone. All right, cool.
Dunzo.
He pulled the Tom Brady. Not to mention this pick for me.
Did he last a quarter? Did he last? Did he at least last a quarter? No, right? Like 5 minutes.
I think he threw 4 passes at most.
Yeah, it was a wreck last year.
What I love about this too is that, like, James Morgan was said to have had a great interview with the Patriots, and the Patriots were looking to take him. And the Patriots, all they did was talk about how he had Tom Brady-like qualities. So I feel like this was a little bit of a like, nah, fuck that. You're not doing this shit to us again. We're going to take him. And it's like, if you want him, you're going to have to give us a second-round pick for him. Fuck that. And I feel like this is a little bit of that, too, which, again, I love it because not only is JD playing ball, like, it's a different Jets. It's a different Jets front office because not only was this the second deal he's done with the Patriots in a year's time, but it's also like, don't think just because I'm being cooperative now, I'm not looking at what the fuck you doing. Like, you want this kid? All right, come give me a second-round pick for him, and we're gonna develop him. We're gonna bring him in. So I like that.
I don't think we picked him because of the Patriots.
No, but I just feel like there's
the kid's got mad for he's very intellectual. He's got a lot of football smarts, and he's got that most important thing that you need to be an NFL quarterback or even a backup in the NFL. And that's that thing between the ears. Like,
but it doesn't hurt that he was one of those guys that even before the draft started, they're like, yo, don't be surprised if this kid gets picked before Jake Fromm and Jacob Eason, because like he's got something. And analysts saw that. Scouts saw it. So I mean, for us to get him as a backup, I love that. Because again, it's another situation where if it comes into a draft where there are multiple needs and there's a high quality of talent, we can move him and get a quality pick and add to the team and make the team better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next one, which many believe is a project pick. At 129 with Cameron Clark from Charlotte.
Jay, you want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I can go. I think that's a yes and a no at the same time, if that makes sense. Like, yeah, because he's from a small school, because he is likely, again, we don't know what the plan is, but it seems like the plan is for him to move into guard.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of like, that's why I think JD is maintained that like whoever the best 5 players are who are gonna play. So if he comes into camp and he beats out Alex Lewis, then he beats out fucking Alex Lewis and he's a starter. But I love his, again, he vibes with, not only does he have a previous relationship already with Becton, because they trained together for the draft. Both of those guys play with a very similar style where it's like kill or be killed. Like offensive line, we're gonna kill you and we're gonna make you want to quit. And I love that because that means every time you want to run to the left side, you know it's gonna be an open hole. You know guys that are rushing from the left side, like they're gonna get worked all game. Those guys are gonna be hurting after the game. They're gonna need some ice baths because these 2 dudes are gonna come in there and they're gonna beat their ass. And that's the kind of fear that you want when the Jets could come off the bus, because it's like you don't want it to be an easy W. You don't want edge rushers to be like, okay, I'm getting 6 sacks today.
Nah, I want to go back to that smash mouth Jets football, punch you in your mouth type football.
Yeah.
It's like okay, we're gonna
you go out there and punch him in the fucking mouth. Like that's what I want.
First play, like, all right, we're gonna run the ball. You want to hear the pads cracking, where it's like, oh no, we run to the left side. Okay, bam, Becton just laid somebody out. Bam, Clark just laid somebody out. Okay, like say you got Denzel Mims hitting cut blocks. Maybe Sam's running a block. Like you want that kind of like, okay, this is gonna be a game. Like this is gonna be a war. Like all right, those dudes get off the bus. We got to be ready to go because first play they come in there to punch us in our mouth. Like we got to know.
Yeah.
Especially next season when most of like the beginning of the season is all on the road and it's all on the West Coast. So like you need that kind of like, because we're not gonna have the home court advantage. If the season stays the way it is, we're not going to have a home court advantage until much later. So you got to have guys that are going to be like, you know what? We're going to that guy's schoolyard. All right, find the biggest bully and we're going to punch him in the face. Cool.
Here's the other thing, though, too, is we got to look at the Patriots. The Patriots don't got Brady. They got Gronk. They're a different team now, completely different. So right now, we need to, like, pretty much put our emphasis against them because they got new. They're coming off of, like, oh, we still own this, but you really don't because you don't got Brady no more. You still got to figure out your quarterback. We don't know what's going to happen. They might have somebody come up, replace Brady. They'd be fine. We don't know that. But we can't go in assuming that. So we got to go in there. We got to punch him in the mouth and say, no, you done. Your reign is done. You know what I'm saying?
Same thing with Buffalo.
Listen, I am not looking at the Patriots being like, all right, you guys are done. I like Bill Belichick is one of the best minds in the business. As much as I fucking hate that man, like the man is a fucking genius when it comes to football.
No,
like,
I get
so like I'm not overlooking the Patriots at all, but like I at least like feel confident that we can go in there and be like, you know what, we're gonna punch you in the mouth. We're gonna give you everything we got. Yeah. We're gonna make you earn this win. If you're gonna beat us, you're gonna earn it.
Because they gotta figure things out. They have to figure things out, and it's not gonna be that easy. You know what I mean? So
I'm more looking at Buffalo, honestly, because of the fact that now that they made the playoffs, you got Bills fans talking out the left side of their ass. Right now, you got, those guys, they just took AJ Epinesa, so like they're gonna want to pass rush, they're gonna want to beat up on other people. And it's like, no.
Hold up. Speaking of Bills in the playoffs, who was it in the chat that said that they were picking the Bills because the Texans got to prove that they can win in the playoffs? Was that both y'all?
Oh.
Or was that somebody else?
That might have been me.
Remember.
I keep it a buck
because I'm on a, like that comment like made me dumbfounded. So like you guys picked whoever it was picked the Bills to beat the Texans in the playoffs with the saying, well, I just don't know if Texans can win in the playoffs. Well, guess what? Before last year, the Bills didn't make the playoffs for 25 years, and you want to pick them because you didn't know the other could win in the playoffs.
And like I said, it probably was me, but it's a lot of the same thing. It's a lot of the same logic I use for basketball. It's like even if you've been there a bunch of times, if you're losing in the first round, I don't trust you. Because that means anybody can come against you and anybody can beat you. So it was so much less about the Bills and more about the Texans. Like, I don't trust y'all motherfuckers. Like, I just don't trust you.
Texans
it was like Golden State before Steve Kerr. They would always choke. So it's like, all right, Golden State's good, but they ain't gonna do shit until they get past this point.
Hold the fuck up. Before Steve Kerr, the Golden State didn't have nobody. They didn't have a Steph Curry. They didn't have a Klay Thompson. They didn't have none of that before Steve Kerr.
No, they had
Mark Jackson drafted all those guys.
Yeah, he did.
Mark Jackson drafted all those guys.
Yeah, but Steph's knee was going out. Fucking.
That was only like his first 2 years. Steph didn't go and get big till year 7. I'm talking about year like 3 through 6.
All right, listen. Fuck basketball. We all know it's not my strong suit.
I'm using it as an analogy.
I got you.
As an analogy.
All right.
The reason why I say that.
All right. Let's go to what I believe is, to me, our steal of the picks in the draft this year. Bryce Hall, cornerback out of Virginia. I love that pick. A lot of people were worried with that ankle injury, and I can see why. But honestly, it was a fracture dislocation. Not too crazy to be overly concerned. Let the kid heal up, rest up, and come back.
But it happened so long ago that I'm
that's
not.
That's what I'm saying. Like it happened at the beginning of last season.
He missed last season.
That.
But
I know. He didn't run at the combine, and I think that's the ongoing thing. Because he didn't run at the combine, nobody wants to trust his team.
It don't matter. Honestly, 40 times aren't everything. 40 times are good for you know what I'm saying? They're eye candy to coaches, but game tape is what I go by. And that boy played fast in the game tape.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that could be our number one corner.
There's people that run a fast as shit 40 times, but are slow as fuck on the field. I want to know how fast you run with all them pads on. Fuck a 40 times.
That's true.
It's cool. It's good to look at. It's good. It's exciting to watch somebody run a fast 40 times. You know what I'm saying? But how good are you with them pads on? How fast are you with them pads on?
I think with Holland specifically, it's because team doctors couldn't get their hands on him. So they didn't want to trust whatever intermediary doctor is saying that, he's healing, he's going to be fine. They don't want to trust that because they want their own doctors. And okay, cool, I get it. But at the same time, the Redskins... Huh?
The poking and prodding process.
Yeah.
At the same time, look at the Redskins. The Redskins shouldn't be able to trust their doctors to save their life. They out here missing cancer, diagnosis and all that other stuff. So, if I can't trust the intermediary doctor, you damn sure can't touch the deep doctor.
Fuck missing the cancer. They're still out here letting Jordan Reed play football. What? Every year this man has a concussion. How are you even allowed to apply to play for football?
And that's what I'm saying. That's why I think that whole I need my people to get our hands on them so that we can do our own test. It's the fuck? Really?
And the way they poke and prod at knee and ankle injuries, they poke and they prod. And they honestly, sometimes I feel that does damage to the healing process.
Yeah.
It probably
does. Don't poke and prod it yet.
So, again, and I feel this one was us robbing the U.S. Treasury and getting away with it. This was some Bonnie and Clyde type.
This is the one.
This man had I think what was his the highest I heard was him getting drafted late first round. And most people had a second round grade on him.
This was
in the 5th round.
This was the Joker leaving the bank robbery at the start of the Dark Knight, type robbery.
He just walked out, started shooting people, and JD literally walked in and was "Oh, y'all not guarding. Okay, I'm gonna shoot him. I'm gonna grab him because y'all just not touching him." And walked out, and it's all right, well. Now, if we have I'm not comparing him to anybody, but if we finally have a CB1 on this defense, bruh, that changes. This defense is a CB1 and an edge rusher away from being all elite. If they can keep the main components together, that defense then becomes we were top 15, top 10 last year.
This is another one of those things where we just need somebody to get the fucking away for the first 5 yards at this point. Anything better than that is it's a bonus. And like Bryce Hall has got some serious talent when healthy. I think like the ankle injuries, it's a minor setback. It's not like he's had an injury riddled college career or anything. Like it was just a one injury, and it happened so early on in the season that like yeah, okay, he missed out on probably his senior season, but like you know what, like now. I think he's good to go. It's not like when we took Bless Austin in the 6th round, like back fucking ACL repairs, who actually turned out who played pretty admirable when he was playing last season actually.
Yeah.
So I like the pick.
And I like his combination with Davis because Davis, you look at a lot of his highlights, he'll get a lot of picks off deflections, which is what Bryce Hall is really good at. So it's like they picked pieces that go together that you can see how these pieces mend.
Yeah.
Like that was just robbery, bro. Like that to me, these last two were almost like, all right, we'll take them. You want to let the best player at this position go? All right, cool, we'll take them. That's nice.
I gotta step away. I'll let you guys finish it off. This is great. I love this. We got some more of these. I'll like to keep recording. So I'll let you guys finish off with the last pick of the draft, which is a punter from Texas A&M. Was that
Braden Mann.
Braden Mann.
And I'll also have you guys go over the undrafted free agents that we signed as well. All right. It was fun. I'll catch up with you guys later in the chat. Everybody, hope you enjoyed this. We'll see about making some more videos during the season. We'll talk about what's going on, what we see, and what we expect from the team and everything else. I'll let you guys continue.
All right, you're not going to stop recording though, right?
Nah.
Okay. All right.
Braden Mann.
So Braden Mann, you know, I love me a punter in the 6th round. He's a Ray Guy Award winner. I know me and you were screaming Donovan Peoples-Jones at this pick, but you know what? This guy's got a fucking boot on him. I'll tell you that right now. This man has got a fucking boot on him. Like, so I'm pretty happy about the pick. And honestly, that punting, as I learned in Madden, like that punting, that ability to coffin corner, punt inside the 20, the 10-yard line, like this guy can do it all. He's got a fucking iron leg. And I'm pretty happy with this pick. It'll give Lackland Edwards either some competition, or if we don't re-sign him, we'll call it a day. He's our new punter, whatever. Either way, we got 2 punters. If we do keep Lackland Edwards for at least camp, we have 2 punters with tremendous legs. I think it's going to come down to accuracy at that point. So,
well, from the podcast that I've seen with JD, like Edwards isn't coming back. So he essentially drafted a starter, which again, you look at his accolades, you look at his precision, you look at, what field position, especially in the game the way it is now, field position is everything. And the way he places the ball and how it helps the defense, like you can't disregard that. And yeah, again, like me and JD wanted Peoples-Jones bad at this pick. But after reviewing what this guy can do, I think again this could turn into another steal because again, yes, he's a punter, but the way he affects the game with how accurate and how powerful his leg is, I think is grossly undervalued right now.
Yeah, like I said, man's got a boot. So let's get to our favorite section right here. There's a lot of guys me and you really like and really fuck with.
Yes, sir. Yes,
so
sir.
Let's get to this our undrafted free agents. So hold on, back up. I got a list of them right here. So we're gonna name them off first, and we'll go over each one of them one by one. Some of them we may not know, but for the most part, me and Jay know almost all of our undrafted free agents. So our undrafted free agents are Lawrence Cager, wide receiver out of Georgia, George Campbell, wide receiver out of West Virginia, my guy, defensive back out of Alabama, Shaheem Carter. We got cornerback Lamar Jackson out of Nebraska, cornerback Javelin Guidry out of Utah. We got offensive tackle Jared Hilbers out of Washington, D-line Dominique Davis out of UNC Pembroke, linebacker Bryce Huff out of Memphis, and D tackle Sterling Johnson out of Coastal Carolina. So going over those, let's start out with the first one, wide receiver at Georgia, Lawrence Cager.
I mean, I just
Georgia.
feel like he's again, he's huge as a human. Like this dude is massive. And I think that's a part of the offense that the Jets have really, really been missing is a home run guy who can be a really, really solid red zone threat. And that's basically what this guy is. Like you throw him out there, there's not a lot of DBs that are going to get in this guy's face, that is going to get in this guy's area. And he's just going to go up over the top. He's like the center on a basketball team. He's going to go over the top. He's going to grab the ball, and it's going to be the end. It's going to be end game.
So now when Jay says he's just a monster of a human being and a big guy, this guy is 6'5", 220. He probably runs somewhere in the I'm gonna say in the 4.5s, which is tremendous for his size and his weight. The dude is a monster. I'm actually very surprised he didn't get drafted at all. Um, like he's a burner, but he can run the route tree, and he played very key roles for that Georgia team. Um, I just think it's a tremendous signing on that end.
I honestly hope, just due to the fact that not all these guys are going to make the team. We know that, but I really do feel like he has.
I'm gonna be real with you. I think all the receivers are gonna make the team. Just
for
because,
sure. As I said, I think he's going to be one of those.
So I think obviously Mims is making the team. Second round pick. He's on the team. He's basically a starter. Just where you're gonna start him. Mm-hmm. So the next one is George Campbell. Now this guy as well is he's a monster. He doesn't weigh as much as Lawrence Cager. He's 6'4", 183 pounds. He runs a 4.49. The dude is just a monster. He could go up and get 50-50 catches. He's got really good hands, great size. I think he could be a mismatch, or even if he's a premier red zone target, like I'm fine with that. Like that's very important role in an offense, especially in the red zone. What are your thoughts on him?
Same thing. He's a guy that not only has underrated speed, but again, size, hands, and he's a guy that, because of the way Sam Darnold's motion is, he's a guy that Sam tends to throw it in windows. Like you can throw it over the top, and those guys are gonna go get it, and you don't have to worry about it being a situation where Sam's overthrowing it or Sam's not placing it in the right spot, because those guys have such a catch radius that he can do those off balance, off kilter throws, and those guys can still go out and get it.
Yep. So the next guy is my guy, from my team
I'm gonna let you
Alabama.
go, I don't know much about him, so I'm gonna let you just.
So my the next one is Shaheem Carter, defensive back out of Alabama. This guy, he's just a baller. He's a little bit stiff as a player, but he's a former cornerback recruit. So he brings some smarts to the position. He can cover, but like he could play down in the box, and when he hits you, he's coming with a thump. So I mean, he's a young player, very coachable. Most of his flaws are coachable flaws. It's not like he'll never be something because of those flaws. Like it's all teachable stuff. And to me, coming from Alabama, getting coached by Coach Saban, like there's no doubt in my mind, he's all about learning. He's very open to the learning process, and I'm excited to see what this kid can like really turn out, because he's one of my favorite players in Alabama. He's doesn't have great long speed, but like he forces a lot of incompletions, a couple of pass deflections. I think he'll be more of a backup to Jamal in the strong safety position, or more of like he's gonna be in the box, as a box safety. But his overall potential, it's promising. So, who's the next one?
Lamar Jackson, the guy you ripped me apart for fantasy drafting a couple of times.
in the earlier rounds.
In the earlier rounds. So yeah, I
So yeah,
understand.
right here,
I
I don't
understand.
have anything. I don't have any complaints about signing Lamar Jackson. To me, he's a bit longer. He's a bigger, more physical corner. I think ultimately his true position is a free safety. So maybe if we can't afford to pay May, maybe he moves out there. I mean, he's a good ball player. He's very good. He's very lengthy. He likes to get physical at the line of scrimmage. Me and Jay had a couple arguments about him because Jay kept drafting him in like the third or the fourth round, and I kept telling
That
him
was real early.
I
That was
kept
real
telling him
early.
that was a big reach, and so I like not like I like me. A lot of mine and Jay's arguments are over where drafting people and where we value people, and like I said, Lamar Jackson at 34th, fourth is a huge reach. See me how we got him as undrafted free agent. Now, I didn't know he was gonna go undrafted. I
I
thought he
thought
was
he
gonna.
would be at least a
I thought
six
he was.
round
Yeah,
pick.
I thought he was gonna go in the sixth round, probably like early sixth, maybe as early as the late fifth, early sixth. But to get him as an undrafted free agent, I'm pretty excited. It adds more depth to that cornerback department. He could also, I think he might ultimately move to the free safety position, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes from there.
The
Um,
guy, yeah, the next guy I don't know too much about.
yeah. Let's get into Bryce Huff because I kind of know a little bit about Bryce Huff. The other guys, we're not gonna sit here and bullshit you guys and tell you that we know them. We got we got to do our research, do a little bit of, like a little bit of film study, classic film study, can't miss that, and see what we got in those guys. So Bryce Huff, linebacker out of Memphis. The dude, he's a very physical linebacker. He's got. I don't want to say he's got like like sideline to sideline range and stuff like that, but like he can hold his own. Like he's got decent sideline to sideline range. It's not below average. It's not elite, but it's good. And I think it adds tremendous depth to an already stacked linebacking corps room, which also means that even as many linebackers as we signed in the offseason, there's still going to be a competition. Some of those guys might
Mm-hmm.
not.
Mm-hmm.
This guy's going to be playing with a huge chip on his shoulder, and like he's a competitor. And I read somewhere a lot of our picks after like round 2 or 3, every player was a former team captain.
Yeah.
So huge. So Joe Douglas has implemented his huge, very huge implication of like character qualities and players that he wants. People that are hungry for football, want to play football, want to win football, and hate to lose more than they like to win. So like I really like that signing. But like the other players, I don't really like. Not to say that I don't know them because I know Javelin Guidry. I haven't watched a lot of tape on him. I don't know who Jared Hilbers is, to be honest. Dominic
It's
Davis
a right
is a
tackle.
local school guy, UNC Pembroke. So I'm not really. I gotta look out some tape on him. And Sterling Johnson, I gotta watch some tape on him as well. So as far as undrafted free agency signing in the draft, I like overall. I think Joe Douglas killed it his first time around. I kind of wish he would have drafted for us last year, if we're being real, because I think our draft would have been a little bit better. It might be a little bit more off, but hey man, I think overall they just did a good job. Joe Douglas killed his first draft. Like obviously I want to win every season, but I'm not really too worried about the outcome of this season. Like
Nah.
obviously I want to win. I'm gonna cheer for us to win. There's an extra playoff seed. There's an extra playoff seed and for each conference this year, so there's a chance we make it there. You know, big chance, but that like all the pieces gotta fall into place. Everybody's gotta do their job. Like it's not just on the coach. The coach teaches. The players gotta learn. The players gotta execute. You know what I mean? Like, but like overall, like the overall direction the Jets are heading is in the right way. I feel that we are in good hands with Joe Douglas. Like I haven't felt discontent. Like I'm not stressed from the off season because we fucking blew it or we're just making asses of ourselves. Like I'm
Right.
actually very content with this off season. I'm very content with this draft, and I'm very happy that we got Joe Douglas finally after all these years.
Yeah, man. Back to Bryce Huff. I honestly, when I watch his tape, all I see is like, yes, we have two guys that can definitely help out Jordan Jenkins in that pass rush. Like Huff can rush the passer. I was really surprised he didn't get
And he can
drafted
cover.
because
And he can cover.
and he can cover, but I mean like it looks like his
I
bread
mean,
and butter is getting to the
y-
quarterback.
yeah, you can't like I wouldn't say you could rely on him to
Nah,
like lock down somebody
nah.
in coverage, but you can rely on him to at least hold his own in coverage and at least like force the player to make a play. He's not gonna give it. He's not just gonna give up the
Right.
play. He's
And
not just gonna give
I
you that
think
play. You're gonna have to
I
work
think
for that.
even I think as an offensive tackle or former offensive tackle, Joe Douglas did a really good job of getting with Greg Williams and getting guys that it's like, it's not going to be easy to score in this defense. Like everything you do, you're going to have to work for it because those guys they hold a lot of pride in not getting beat. It's a lot more guys like Jamal
I mean,
Adams. I'll put
I
it
mean,
that way.
yeah, Jamal wanted more dogs. He got more dogs.
They bought
You
him
know
the
what?
whole pound, bro.
And you know what? Look what the defense did last year towards the end of the season. And
Playing with
like
fourth string guys.
with the players that we had, I'm so excited and I cannot wait to see this defense at full health, full
Mm-hmm.
strength. CJ Mosley, Patrick Anwasor. Like I'm not even gonna
I
go into
mean,
Blake.
we put a beat. We truthfully, the way I look at it, we put a beating on Buffalo. Really, we put a beating on Buffalo up until CJ got
Uh,
hurt,
we
and
did.
the
We were up 17-0. See,
that's what I'm saying.
and that's what I try to like stress to people. Like I get it. We fucking threw the bag at CJ Mosley, 17 mil a year, but the guy is a game changer.
He
The
is.
moment he left that game, we did not score another point, and we did not fucking. They scored on every
Stop
drive
anybody.
after that.
Yeah,
You couldn't stop a
exactly.
nosebleed.
Exactly. And I feel like, that's what gets me excited about next season. It's like, you know what? We finally got some guys to protect Sam. So Sam may look closer to what he was in preseason than what he did in the first game. When he was decisive and direct and everything he threw was with intention and everything the way he was attacking defenses, it was like, okay, Sam Darnold kind of scared some people early on. Because it's like, oh, okay, he may be ready to do something. And because he's in the second year, he's more comfortable with everything. He's more comfortable with the calls. So I feel like, Sam could definitely take a step in the right direction. But I'm more excited about the defense because, again, you have a lot of guys who are going to compete. You have the backups that are willing to compete. You have guys on the practice squad that are going to compete like they're playing in games. So it's like our offense is going to get better because our defense is going to be so stacked, and our defense is going to get better because they're competing against each other. And now
Right
you have guys on the offense that are not going to take it lying
now,
down.
Now, I also want to rewind a little bit and jump back to our one of our fourth round picks, the lineman we took in the fourth round, Cameron Clark.
Mm-hmm.
Um, like this guy is no scrub. I know he came out of Charlotte, but this dude was throwing around Clemson defenders.
Right,
He
and that was one of the
like they
best defenses last season.
like they were rag dolls. He was throwing around Clemson defenders. So he's no scrub. He just played in a small school. I do think he has a legitimate chance to push for a starting job. And most thing I'm most excited about is to see what the final outcome is of our O line because we're not
Mm-hmm.
married to the fact of Connor McGovern playing center anyway. So John
No.
Harrison has a chance to win that battle. I think whichever one loses that battle is going to play guard because they both can
Mm-hmm.
play. They both, and that's what I like about what Joe Douglas has done with this line is that like every lineman that we have signed or we have drafted can play multiple positions on the line, and that is
Right.
very very crucial. That is very crucial to no matter what team you're in. And
And I think
Joe Douglas played college. He played football. He played offensive line, so he knows the battles are won in the trenches and
mm-hmm.
that's offense and defensive lines.
Right.
That's where the game of football is won. Like defense wins championships, offense keeps you in it. That's my outlook. Like you just need a game manager. But like I'm also so excited to see Sam Darnold actually play protected. I think he's gonna have PTSD from running around so much. He may just run out there just because he's like, oh man, wait, I have blockers. I can stay back there. Like, you know what I mean? Like he's been running for his life his entire career and still making plays and still doing the wild plays. And then you got the bonehead plays, but you know what? Let's see
he's
Sam.
22.
Let's see Sam behind a fucking real offensive line with some actual protection. And I think the kid's got all like he's got everything you need for him to succeed. I as far as tools go, I think he still needs some more wide receiver weapons. You can't have too many.
For sure. You can't have too many playmaking wide receivers. But what I love about Clark too is because he did play tackle, and because at this point our biggest hole, quote unquote, would be the right tackle because you don't know what Chuma Doga is going to be. You don't know.
I think Chuma Doga is going to. I don't know what fans going to be, but I think Chuma Doga is going to be fine. Like he was thrown to the Wolves last season. He played right tackle and left tackle last season. And not to mention he didn't really even have a fucking below average line to supporting cast.
Right.
So like I said, our O line couldn't block top corner team last year. Like
I love the fact that again at that position we're 3 deep because now you got a rookie coming in that can play tackle, and if that's the only way that Cameron Clark can play, you think he's not going to compete for that right tackle job either? You know, he's going to come in and want to play right tackle too.
It's gonna be a full out competition for the entire line. It's gonna be competition for wide receiver. There's gonna be competition on defense. Like the more the competition, the better the team turns out. Like I don't know about you, but me, I'm a very competitive person. So like if you're I'm that guy that would be in practice talking shit to you to piss you off to get the best out of you. Because like if I'm on the D, because I played D line in high school, so like I be talking shit to the offensive lineman. You know what? Because I don't want to go up against a soft you. I want you to be pissed as fuck at me. I want the best of you. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to go against the best. I want to get the best out of you, and you should want to get the best out of me. You should want to piss me off in practice, so I go hard as fuck. You know what I mean? Like that's to me. That's how I've always played any sport, whether it be baseball or football. Like I'm competitive. I talk mad shit. Like I run my mouth. I'm trying to piss you off to get you better. Like even if you're my teammate, I'll talk shit to you. I don't care. I want you to be better, and I expect the same out of you. I expect you to talk shit to me to get better. That's just I don't know. To me,
and I think that's a lot of what the Jets are transitioning to, and it's a lot of that. That's what gets Jets fans excited now. Is that like now we have a team that we can look at like, okay, you got some guys in there that aren't just going to take it lying down. You know that even though the Jets kind of came out on the other side better than we thought they would last year.
Yeah,
it was kind of hard to see the fight some games where it was like some games it just looked like they just gave up, and I don't think that's going to be the situation this year at all.
Yep. But I don't know. I think we've covered about everything we could cover. You know, I'm ready to wrap it up if you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've had a blast on this time on this podcast with you fellas. I know Paul had some other things to do, but it was great getting together. And down the line, we're gonna have our own separate Jets podcast as a branch off. You know, we're gonna come in. You know, we gotta come up with some names. Make sure they haven't been taken yet. But we hope to do more regular Jets podcasts. Just talking Jets, man. Just like what we love.
Absolutely, man.
So,
thank you guys. Subscribe, follow.
Subscribe, follow. Comment if you think we trash. Comment if you want us to talk about another topic next time. Comment, let us know. You know,
if you think we're full of shit, comment.
If you think we're full of shit, comment. I want feedback, negative, positive. I want it all because you know what, you don't grow unless you know what you're doing wrong. So, I appreciate you guys. I know we kind of got took a little long, but I appreciate you guys sticking with us and listening to us. Let us know what you think. That's us signing off.
Peace
out, everybody.